I've heard you say that there's a difference between listening to music and hearing the music, which I agree with 100%. My question is, do you think that a knowledge of music theory helps the listener to hear the music better, or does it hinder that? I mean, because a lot of times I'm sitting around, I'm trying to figure out one of your more complex compositions, and I'm lost in the theory part of it. I don't know if I'm really hearing music then or listening to it.
Thank you, sir. David?
One of the things that really annoys me about King Crimson fans is, here we go, you can throw things at me in a minute, is those that are obsessed with time signatures. As in, you get people say, oh gosh, I've been listening to this music and I'm counting and I think this is a bar of 17 and this is a bar of this. And when I hear King Crimson, I have no interest in that. In fact, I was talking to Bill Rieflin about this, and I said, yes, as far as I'm concerned, all King Crimson is in one. Here is the beat. And the function of the time signatures is not that I'm some scientifically going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's that it feels right and it flows correctly. When I very first was flown out to Seattle to do halfway through a League of Crafty Guitarists tour, and was presented with You're Now the Sound Engineer, they were playing an early version of the piece Thrack. And halfway through Thrack, there was a large reverb event that I had to kick in. And after about the second rehearsal, I kicked it in. And John Sinks, who was the assistant engineer, said, goodness, David, you've worked it out. You've been counting the however many bars, the 5 bars of 7, so that you know where it is. And I said, no, I haven't. I simply know that the rhythm goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This is my moment. As in, I was experiencing the joint effect of the 5s and the 7s. So I think there's a point at which music is meant to be experienced in the body, not counting with the head. There is a slight flip side to that, which I referred to yesterday, actually, with audiences from Shakespeare's period, which is that Shakespeare could only write those plays because the audience was sufficiently well educated to understand all the nuances that he was putting into the plays. So there is probably a point at which there would be some music that couldn't be appreciated or couldn't be listened to correctly without a certain knowledge. But my final thought actually was when you were describing the difference between listening and hearing, I was thinking about us sitting up here, because if you imagine we were sitting here and you were all hearing us and not listening to us, well, it would mean that we're actually talking to ourselves. Nobody is listening to us. You'd be hearing us and not listening. The two are quantitatively completely different.
Number of responses. Firstly, listening is what we do. Hearing is when it comes to us. So hearing is when we go to music. Listening is when music says, all right, I'll come your way. And we hear it. There are different qualities of listening. Now, if you would like to see behind us, please, an equilateral cross. And on the left, shall we say, the listener, the person who is engaged and sufficiently attentive to be able to listen to the music. On the right, see the word connoisseur. The connoisseur will know the subdivisions, the metrics, will know all the different versions of this particular piece live. It will enable them to engage at a certain level that they derive a profound satisfaction from being also inside the music which has taken the player into its confidence. The music has also taken the listener into its confidence. Up the top, right at the top, hearing of such a quality that the music is co-created with the musician. This is where we go into subtle stuff. But as David says, if you're hearing what we're saying, there is no division, there is no distinction. We are at a certain point the same person. And that's where the co-creation takes place. Down the bottom, to describe the listening is best to say the person is deaf. There is no possibility of them hearing what is going on. Why? Because they're not listening. They can only hear what they expect to hear. I will give an example of this. I read a post online of a character who came to a Crimson concert where Bill was playing on stage doing a solo. And there was a character at the back, within the hearing of the person reporting it, saying, I saw Bill Bruford do the drum solo in 1973, etc., etc., etc. Hey, dude, this is 1995 or 6. Bill's doing a drum solo now. I can tell you what Bill was playing in 1970. Deafness. Astonishing. And on we go. Superb question, sir. Thank you. Is there someone else with a burning question?